Flazefire Hotel. A great place for your family. Look at our hotel. It's so epic. Come over to the front desk. It's so front and central. Me, I just want to have sex with it. I love drugs and sex and kissing men on the lips.
That part is true.
The Flazefire Hotel, only $12 a night. Don't stay here unless you want AIDS.
If you're a homosexual, neurodivergent, or under the age of 14, you are probably well aware of the existence of Hazbin Hotel. If you're not one of these demographics, why are you watching me? You're so old. Ew! Hazbin Hotel is the creation of Viviani Paparino, a wildly popular indie internet creator and millennial brain Twitter poster.
My name is Kane. I am your bitch. And I'm here to show you the most horny,
People be making the same LOL, hell of a boss, just swearing sex and laugh jokes over and over, but like, I've been influenced by Seth Rogen comedies in South Park, so yes, that shit makes me chuckle. I weep for you if you don't think a well-delivered fuck word is funny.
Now, the series is set in a fictional hell, but the act of consuming any of it is an actual hell. Do I think Hazbin is bad? I want to preface this by saying that I did not watch Hazbin wanting to hate it. It earned my contempt all on its own. There is so much potential that is wasted on a terribly written, poorly paced, unfunny show, and that makes me angry. It makes me much more angry than if it was just a bad show. Because I can see there is a good show in there, buried deep down. Vivziepop is a character designer and talented artist, but she's an awful storyteller. It's not the worst show ever made, but it has many problems that I want to whine about because there are people out there that think it's a masterpiece, and I can't stand the thought of others feeling joy. This is Hazbin Hotel. The good, the bad, the fandom. First, I want to be nice, so let's go to heaven. Ugh. Dang. I didn't think heaven would be so white. I think that Hazbin has some interesting ideas. It doesn't execute on them at all, but they're there. The initial premise of the show is extremely engaging. It poses questions like, what is truly good and evil? Can the irredeemable be redeemed? What if hell was full of gay people? What did Vivzi mean by that? The animation is mind-blowing. This show absolutely oozes style, and for an indie project, it is really impressive. I need to give a shout out to the artists. Good job. You took what is possibly some of the most horrendously over-designed, carpal tunnel-inducing characters in animation history and made them look beautiful in movement. Sometimes. Big kisses. Mwah. As a musical, Hazbin is one of the best productions I have heard in a long time. The way the tracks drive the narrative forward and are genuinely catchy is a miracle given Vivzi's writing. Some of these songs are banging. Not all of them. There's a couple of stinkers. And some serve no narrative purpose and are only there to be on the Spencer's background music while shopping playlist. But the above average tracks more than make up for the lackluster ones. I'm feeling a strong urge to die and go to hell so I can keep listening to them. If I had to summarize the creation of Hazbin Hotel into one word, it would be effort. But if I were to do the same with the experience as a viewer, the word would be pain. It pains me to see all this hard work failing to meet its true potential. And to Hazbin's defense, I understand that when you sell your soul to rich bald man, there are certain restraints, deadlines, expectations placed upon the creative team. And although A24 picked Hazbin up, it is Jeff Bezos that is cracking the whip. The show feels rushed, because it was rushed. They definitely didn't know if they were getting a second season, so they tried to cram as much as they could into one. And it shows. Hard work went into this show. Blood, sweat, and so much. Especially from that one storyboard gooner with the rape fetish. But hard work does not equal masterpiece. As much as you may want it to be true, Hazbin is no longer an indie project. It is a franchise. Well, that's everything nice I had to say. God, smite me. Yeah, no, this is what I was expecting. A lot of people say that comedy is subjective, and they're stupid. What makes you laugh is subjective, but comedy itself is a science with a formula that can be distilled into a pure drug that angel dust is probably huffing off some dude's boner. Guys, get it? I said boner. Why aren't you laughing, guys? It's a pretty simple equation. There's a setup, payoff, and somewhere in there, a subversion of expectations. It can take many forms, but it needs to have at least those 3 elements in order to be considered a joke. Doesn't even have to be a good joke. But in your animated comedy musical, those parts of the equation are required. And Vivziepop can't do math. She likes to do what I call comedic edging. Their setup, sometimes a painful amount, only for there to be no punchline or no subversion.
I've been a bad boy, and I need a big, strong daddy to put me in my place. On the path to redemption.
Well, you come.
Oh, yes!
I am being edged against my consent.
I love to suck
I swear to fuck if you say dicks.
popsicles, you sicko. But you know, dicks too.
Guys, it's a sex joke. Get it?
I'm a bad man on the streets who never got enough hugs. Where's an innocent kid I can sell crack to? Wow, who wrote this?
Get it? It's making fun of the fact that Angel Dust talks like this all the time. And it's funny because he talks like this all the time.
Adam, sir. Mr. Adam, sir.
Call me Dickmaster.
It's a penis joke. You better laugh. You better laugh right fucking now. There's a misconception in our internet culture that certain types of humor, you know, sex jokes, swearing, pee-pee poo-poo, lowbrow humor, is inherently unfunny. That is false. It is unfunny when it is repetitive and poorly timed. Now we need to talk about the fat fuck in the room. And I don't mean pyro. Swearing, in moderation and with foresight into where it is placed, can greatly add comedy and impact to your dialogue. Hazbin Hotel has none of those. It seems that Vivzy is under the impression that swearing is a substitute for funny, and that if there is more swearing, there will be, in turn, more funny. Again, terrible at math. F. See me after class. It would be understandable but still grating if one or two characters talked like this, but they don't. Every character, all the time, goes out of their way to be vulgar. Here is the breakdown. Now, depending on your sensibilities and what you consider a swear word, this list might be a little bit off, so we'll add plus or minus 50 just to be safe. And if we run this through the Flazefire, that gives us 1.72 plus or minus 0.25 profanities per minute, or the average early Flazefire video. And if your swear count is on par with ranking every Mario brother,
fucking asshole that fucked my wife,
you need to tone it down a notch. One character that showcases how effective restraint can be is Edgy Twink number 15, Alistair.
The radio demon.
His whole deal is that he is prim and proper and obsessed with how he is perceived by others, all filtered through an aesthetic of being appropriate for radio. Nice motif you got there. He barely swears at all, and when he does, it's actually impactful or genuinely funny because you're not expecting it. Take this scene where he's almost murdered. We know things are bad because upon receiving damage, he says,
What just happened?
Demonetized, Alistair. I will be taking your ad revenue. And I felt something? This fictional character broke their in-universe character? Boy, I sure wish the other characters showed some restraint. The worst offenders of the written by Vivzy Pop style of dialogue are Angel Dust and Angel Adam, and they are the most annoying characters to sit through because of it.
I'm fucking Adam. I'm the original Dick. All dicks descend from me. You think you want drummer Dick? No way. I'm the Dick fucking master. So, anyway, and we fucked, and it was awesome.
Don't get me wrong. Swearing has its place in communication. And I'm not some pearl-clutching prude. It's when it comes across as forced and cringy that I take issue with it. Hazbin overuses foul language in an attempt to be mature, but in reality, they are merely pretending. Now, Hazbin's plot may be contrived. What if the angels were actually le bad guy? But that doesn't mean you can't tell an engaging story from that framework. Now, narratively speaking, Hazbin does a lot of things, but it does none of them well. Ideas are introduced and then dropped, plotlines are rushed and don't feel satisfying, and a lot of character development takes place off-screen or is just directly stated to the viewer.
My name is Walter.
In regards to losing the plot, literally, nothing exemplifies this more than the Hazbin Hotel pilot. The pilot was uploaded to YouTube and was the first taste of Hazbin that the world would receive. But for some reason, it's not in the official release of Hazbin on Amazon Prime, and large amounts of it are retconned and ignored. But not all of it, so good luck deciphering that. If you want context for the Amazon release, and considering how rushed it is, you really do, then you need to watch the pilot. But if you watch the pilot, then you need to solve and decode Vivzy's Hidden Riddles 3. The pilot sets out to be a fun little show about some naive white girl who lives in hell and tries to save her people with the power of good vibes and friendship. And honestly, I really like it. If the full series was just Charlie and the gang,
This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Wrong, Charlie. Spending an episode helping a couple folks into the pearly gates, exploring the depths of hell, maybe having the hotel staff grow as people, and finally, one day, all of them can be redeemed. Except Charlie has to stay behind because there's always going to be more sinners, and as the princess of hell, it's her duty. Sorry, got caught up in my fan fiction there. That would be an enjoyable show. So, what does Hazbin give us? Lies. It gives us lies. It makes you think it's gonna be that type of episodic adventure, but then 2 episodes in, and we're engaged in an interdimensional war, and there's all this bloody and graphic violence, and there's gay people. Good for them. In the pilot, we are told that the exterminations take place due to overpopulation.
Isn't there a more humane way to hinder overpopulation here in hell?
In the Prime version, it is very different. Now, the reasoning for the extermination, the reason that this entire show is happening, is because heaven doesn't want hell to gain power and rise up against it. Okay. Let's run with it. But as we keep watching, it turns into some ancient secret plot by the heavenly higher-ups for some reason.
I'm sure you wish it could be so, but there's a lot that you don't know.
Oh, never mind. I guess the angels just do it for fun.
For those of us with divine ordainment, extermination is entertainment.
How about all of them? How about none? Who knows? Who cares? Me. Suffice to say, Hazbin Hotel has a lot of world-building issues. Its setting of heaven and hell takes a lot of creative liberties with the pre-existing concepts of the 2 locations, which is fine. Heaven and hell aren't real anyway, so you're allowed to alter the Bible lore in service of your story. What you're not allowed to do is make rules for how your universe operates, center your entire plot around them, and then just ignore them. Heaven in the Hazbin Helluva YouTube Amazon Prime verse is just a place that exists. There's no god that we know of. Maybe they're hyping him up for an Avengers-style end credit scene reveal. So, the Elders of Heaven, the angels, made everything. Earth, reality, Fortnite porn, the whole works. Adam, the first human and primary antagonist, is an angel, most likely the first human-angel hybrid. OC, do not steal. Which means that at some point, somewhere, the creators of the universe, the angels, God, Vivzie Pop herself, had some form of criteria on what it takes to get into heaven. But Seraphim, a heavenly elder, doesn't know.
None of you know what gets someone into heaven?
This questioning stops now. We know when a soul arrives.
Lucifer, a fallen angel, and the king of hell, doesn't know.
Heaven is not exactly as carefree as you might think. Yeah, they have rules. Lots of rules.
Emily, Lute, Vaggie, Peter Griffin, all of these angels in attendance have no idea what it takes to get into heaven. But the worst offense is the fact that Adam, the first human to become an angel, doesn't know.
See? He did everything on your checklist.
Well, then why isn't he here then?
And it's played off as a joke?
What do you think it takes to get into heaven?
Act selfless, don't steal, stick it to the man. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, sure got me here, didn't it? Right, Sarah?
You don't get to do that, Vivzie. Why should we care about Charlie's plan? You know, the hotel, the thing the show is named after, if the show itself doesn't care. Nothing actually matters, and no one knows what it takes to get into heaven. Essentially, the hotel means nothing, and the show is just an excuse to have Vivzie's edgy Tumblr OCs be badass and fight real epic style. Which is fine if you're a toddler that can be distracted by a pair of goth Hot Topic keys. But for anyone that wants more from their media than self-insert power fantasy, it is a chore to get through. In episode 6, there is a vague attempt at explaining how a sinner can get into heaven, literally scribbled on a piece of paper. Adam's criteria to enter heaven is as follows. Act selfless, don't steal, stick it to the man. Do you not know? Are you stupid? The answer is yes. The show doesn't want to have a smart villain with complex morality or depths, because that would require actually delving into the question of what is good and evil. And the show doesn't want that. It wants a mustache-twirling straw man that calls himself Dick Master in order to pretend that it's morally gray. Because to its primarily underage audience, they think that this is somehow deep and insightful. Because don't you see? The angels
are just as bad as the people in hell.
But there's a reason that they're in hell. They did something to end up there. Adam is a misogynistic, foul-mouthed loser, but according to some arbitrary rules somewhere, he's allowed to be in heaven.
If hell is forever, then heaven must be a lie. If angels can do whatever and remain in the sky.
This is trying to be an epic dig at the way heaven operates, but in context, it makes absolutely no sense and comes across as pure, unadulterated Reddit r/atheism. Excuse me, angelic man, you were rude to my lady and killed sinners. Also, you use foul language. I have bested you in a battle of wits. Downvote. The show goes out of its way to portray the demons as crazy psychopaths who are so badass and crazy. It really wants you to think they're cool. Yet in the same breath, they will say that the angels are exactly the same.
Hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charge.
So what is the point in redeeming sinners if heaven is just like hell? Why aspire to be better if what's better is just as shitty?
How can I bring joy when I now know we are bringing misery to thousands of innocent people?
There is a cannibal town. There are so many cannibals that they zoned and built a town for them. If the camera panned left, it's probably right next to Pedo Village and Hitler Hamlet. Alistair is a serial killer who eats people. Too Mad is probably somewhere down there. And Valentino, you're a rapist. But when it's time to have our angels are really the bad guys moment, it shows them swearing, being a creepy sex pest.
Their love is vile and blasphemous.
Hot as fuck, though.
Trying to murder children. How did kids end up in hell? Did they steal something? Did they lie? Did they not stick it to the man? Did they running one-tap me through long doors? Only one of those is truly evil enough to land you in hell. Or are they simply there as plot devices to add to the angels are just as bad as demons analogy because Vivzy can't write proper villains? Apparently demons can be born in hell. They're called hellspawn. That's what Charlie is. And that works
the next generation of anal expanders.
Somehow. But you can also be killed in hell, but only by an angelic weapon. But also just by normal weapons, or getting hit by a car, or just by normal things that make people die. What happens when you die in hell? Do you get to go to hell premium? It kind of defeats the purpose of it being eternal punishment if you can just die. And they're not really being punished. They have their own lives down there. They have businesses, cars, the internet. There's probably some evil hell version of Rainbow Six Siege. Evil Hell Siege be like, I am a fun game. Sure, people are on drugs all the time and you can get murdered for just walking outside, but that's less of a hell and more of a hot version of Edmonton. And heaven is just hell, but people are happy. Vivzy's depictions are so bare bones and basic that they could have taken place anywhere. Really, they are heaven and hell in name and color palette alone. Now, Vaggie. Oh, I'm sorry. Her real name is...
It's why I named you after the best thing ever.
Actually, it's pronounced Vaggie.
No.
If you were unaware by the first 5 seconds of her screen time, she is an angel. And for some reason, the show decides it needs a Disney movie third act conflict for this reveal.
You think I might try to eat you?
Oh, yes!
Even if I were to entertain the notion that the writing team had the ability to handle this well, it all falls apart because the main premise of the show is redemption. Vaggie wants to hide the fact that she used to be a heavenly executioner from Charlie for some reason. Charlie, a character so forgiving and understanding that it genuinely makes me sick. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. What you smiling for? Someone who is so naive and optimistic that she is engaging in a war with heaven to save literal demons from literal hell because she can still see the good in them. And Vaggie worries that her girlfriend will see her differently because she used to kill sinners?
I guess I'll just tell Little Miss Butterflies and Rainbows that she's been fucking someone who's killed thousands of her people.
Everyone kills sinners. Everywhere. All the time. And Charlie just chalks it up to...
Everyone makes mistakes.
Vaggie, you are a stupid dum-dum. Go to your stupid dum-dum corner with the writers. The angels, from what we are told, are immortal. They cannot be hurt or damaged by anything.
Before you found out about me, did you know angels could be harmed?
No.
But, crazy twist, it is later revealed that an angel's weapon can kill an angel. And somehow, the show treats this reveal as massive. And to the audience it might be, because there was no foreshadowing or build-up before the exposition dump.
Angelic weapons? It's that simple? How has no one else figured this out?
But to Vaggie, an angel who was not only injured by, but almost killed by an angelic weapon, this should not be new information. Stay in your corner. And because the show has Alzheimer's, it forgets that it said angels can only be injured by angelic weapons, so during the final climactic battle, you can just hurt them with whatever you want as long as it's coated in the power of friendship. And I guess this large piece of rubble was made of angelic metal. The show is actively lying to me. None of this stuff is real. You're allowed to just make up your own rules. But you do have to stick to them. In Hazbin's favor, there is one rule that is committed to and never strayed from for the entire season, and that is to be as unsubtle as possible.
Take that, depression!
I guess they are painfully aware of who is watching this show. But even 10-year-olds have a longer memory than the writers, because we not only get exposition for every character arc, plot beat, and backstory, we get it multiple times. I'm not sure you're aware, but Charlie, she's got some daddy issues.
As she tries to work through her daddy issues by fixing you.
You got daddy issues?
No, we just have never been close.
Daddy issues.
How about what the hotel is meant to do? I'm not quite sure. Could you maybe remind me every single episode?
Redemption!
Redemption.
This place is about second chances. Redeemed.
Redeemed.
Redemption.
Redemption.
Redeemed.
Redeemed.
Redemption.
Redeemed. Redeemed.
Redemption. Redeem. Second chances. Redemption.
How about learning about the characters' issues naturally and having them work through them and grow, otherwise known as a character arc? Nah, let's just have Cat Keith David tell everyone what's wrong with them.
That one is an insecure buffoon whose lonely ass watches you at its sleep. Princess is a bleeding heart who wants to solve everybody else's problems except her own. This one judges everyone and everything because she hates herself. And Nifty? Yeah, you don't even want to know.
For supposedly mature adult television, Hazbin relies heavily on the tactics used by kids shows for literal doo-doo diaper babies.
Hola, mi amigos. Me llamo es Flazefire.
And I play Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck. That's right, when I play Pot of Greed, it allows me to...
Muy bien.
It allows me to draw 2 additional cards from my deck. I am going to say something that goes against my very beliefs as a human being. Everything that I stand for and hold dear. There needs to be power scaling in Hazbin Hotel. Ethereal ghost hands. Power scaling is dumb. It will ruin your life. Fucking stupid name. Because the majority of power scalers' mothers drank while pregnant. There are so many points throughout the runtime where there is no tension because we have absolutely no idea what the characters are capable of, or even if they can be harmed. Alistair is constantly being glazed for his immense powers and is feared by all. But we don't really see a reason for that. Yes, they allude to him being able to do things, and he has some random Tumblr OC grab bag of abilities, but so does everyone else. Charlie is the Princess of Hell and can do something powerful. We don't quite know what. We just know that she's strong in a way that's probably edgy. Lucifer, you know, the devil, can do literally anything, apparently. I guess being the most powerful angel means you can shapeshift real good and build hotels. But for some reason, he can't stop his people from being exterminated? Oh, my apologies. They exposited the fact that he tried, he simply just couldn't. Adam has generic strong boy powers, and he is super fast, and he has big beam. He one-shots Alistair, and instantly evaporates the only good character, but then loses to the power of love.
Wait, what the fuck?
Okay, demons gain power from making contracts with other sinners for their souls, but sometimes it's because of the amount of fear they create, and sometimes it's because all of the characters that matter have some sort of transformation, and trust me, this transition is everything. But does that imply the existence of power levels in the Hazbin universe?
Is that all you've got, fat?
Is Charlie a Super Saiyan? Can Valentino use bungee gum, which, as we know, contains the properties of both rubber and gum? It may seem that I'm being overly critical and asking a lot for a show with only 1 season, And you would be correct if Hazbin was a normal show, but it is trying to do so much within such a short runtime, and the writers have so many things to say, while at the same time lacking the curiosity required to delve into these topics on more than just a surface level, that it starts losing me as a viewer, and I start asking basic questions, and the show seems wholeheartedly disinterested in answering them. Maybe if the exposition, as bad as it is, was dedicated to more than setting up mysteries to keep the fanbase speculating and introducing 8,000 side characters, which all have plushies and pins and playmats, all available at hazbinhotel.com/store. Guys, look, it's Glupshido! My favorite Hazbin Hotel character! I love Glupshido! It could be dedicated to expositing us a plot with a bit more focus. But in the end, Adam is defeated and they sing a little song and everything is just sunshine and rainbows. And oh no, Charlie's little thing that had 30 seconds of screen time died. No! And Serpentius is dead. No! But he makes a noble sacrifice for his friends.
You out of your fucking mind?
Yes!
And him being killed off is used as a joke.
That could have been ugly.
How you doing?
I have total whiplash, doctor. I need 50 cc's of medicine drug to live.
Except he isn't. He got redeemed. How? Seraphim seems quite surprised that he's up there, so that means there's just an automatic process that randomly, for some reason that no one in heaven knows, sends you to heaven when you check off some arbitrary criteria. Because being good once in hell negates all the bad things you did in life.
It starts with sorry.
Now, a majority of this show's issues come from the fact that they had, I don't think I'm reading this right, 10 writers? Oh my god! 10 writers for 8 episodes is insanity. Hazbin Hotel tries a lot and fails, but I have to applaud the effort. As much as it may seem like I am a Hazbin hater, I am greatly anticipating season 2. Because like I said in the beginning, I see a good show in there, and I would greatly enjoy to see it live up to its potential. As slop as the first season is, I've seen it 3 times. Hazbin Hotel is many things, but it is never boring. Now with all that out of the way, I am going to talk about the objectively terrible part of Hazbin Hotel. God, I'm sorry for being mean. Oh, you got jokes. Let me get this out of the way now. All fandoms are garbage. When you have a large group of people who model their entire personality around their shared interest in a thing, whether it be a piece of media, dressing up in costume, their shared attraction for minors, you're bound to have at least a few that spoil the fun. This is what we refer to scientifically as the vocal minority. As the popularity of the object of the fandom's interest grows, so too do the voices of dissent that hate it just because it's popular. Those specimens are referred to as fucking dorks. Both of these groups grow in proportion, and this results in the creation of an echo chamber feedback loop of toxic positivity, where the fandom members constantly feel the need to reinforce how great the thing they like is. And if the thing they like is considered a masterpiece,
Oh, yes!
then they, by association, are more intelligent for liking it. Anything that is not abject praise becomes a violent attack on them personally. And the Hazbin fandom is not unique in this regard. So then, what exactly makes it stand out in the cesspool of internet fandoms as one of the worst? Vivian Madrano. A fandom can ruin a work. Look at Lay Wholesome Chungus Pickle Rick. And most creators are aware of that and keep their participation with their fandoms at an arm's length. But Vivzy saw this method and said, no, I will be the fandom.
I'm seeing posts hinting that there's already ship bullying for Hazbin. The characters may be all canonly one certain way, but you should have fun shipping anything you want. Go nuts. And don't rag on someone for a non-canon ship or one you don't like. It's not hurting anyone.
Vivzy is Hazbin's biggest fan, and why wouldn't she be? It's her baby. She poured her heart and soul into making it, but at a very early age, the baby was dropped on its head, and a lot of people, rightfully so, think that, damn, that's an ugly baby. There are a lot of reasons to be critical of Hazbin. There is also a fairly large group of, let's say hyper-schizos that believe it is a Jeff Bezos psyop in order to indoctrinate children into a satanic cult that's also gay.
With every Amazon purchase, we are actually funding an organization that has no problem promoting some of the most demonic doctrine that you can imagine.
And they're dumb and stupid. But Vivian, and as a result, her fan base...
No, please don't hurt the spider boy. Please don't do this. I'm already crying just at the thought. I didn't know. Mother. I'm gonna cry.
Use this as an excuse to disregard any and all criticism. Valid and stupid. And what really, really, really doesn't help is the fact that Hazbin's fan base is primarily children.
In episode 1, when you had to record the voice lines for the sex scene, for the sex tape, were you ever embarrassed when you had to do the, like, yes, daddy, and moaning?
And I don't mean that as a snide, I mean actual middle schoolers. Kids like things they perceive as mature. But the fact that I have to see a minor's opinion when looking at discussion of this show online should be a crime punishable by death. Kids are dumb, stupid, and unfunny. And as a result, a large portion of Hazbin's fan base is people with unformed brains parroting opinions they heard from someone else with an unformed brain.
You adults need to stop saying Hazbin Hotel or Hell of a Boss should never be watched by minors. You assume every minor is like 9 and Hazbin and Helluva has more tame jokes than most adult shows, plus why a lot of minors watch it because of realistic LGBTQ depictions. Dude, what the hell? I get people like Charlister and all, but why get mad when other people don't like it? Cause they headcanon them being like father and daughter. Vivsy debunked it. I don't care. Don't attack me.
Headcanons are fine. It's an issue when you treat it as fact, despite the creator actually coming out and saying no. He said that to mess with Lucifer, not to mention they aren't related at all.
I don't treat it as fact. I simply think so. Some of my IRL friends are convinced Charlie's younger than him. Also, if sinners stop aging, we can add his actual age and how many years it's been since he died. I ran out of room. Hell.
Then your friends need to do some lore reading. I shouldn't be surprised at this point because you're all 15. Not exactly the age group this show is intended for, lol. 76-year-old age gap. You really think that since this is being set in hell, that wouldn't stop sinners? Point is, plus...
Listen, I'm trying to be nice. What the fuck is your issue? I've been calm enough when I've treated your responses with respect. Also, Hazbin Hotel is 16 plus with the exception of episode 4. What point are you trying to make here? Point out that I'm 15.
There is a way to fix the fandom, and that is for mommy to take away the iPad. And I seriously hope that Vivian gets off Twitter and focuses on making her show the masterpiece that the fans think it is.
I shit it in my pants. I am for real. I think you should join my Discord too. My pants are filled with some stinky poo. I shit it in my pants. I am for real. You should also follow my Twitter. My pants are filled with so much shitter.